You're listening to the BBM Global Network with 25 years in broadcast audio and video production. Our passionate team creates content and marketing for the world of Internet Talk Radio. If you've got a passion, come join us at bbmglobalnetwork.com. The BBM Global Network. Your voice is now heard.
This is Naturally Recovering Autism with your host, Karen Thomas. After being told her son could not recover from his symptoms of autism, Karen began a long crusade. It took over a decade of personal research and experience, and now she has brought her son back to recovery. Join Karen and utilize what she has to share from her knowledge and personal experience. So please welcome the host of Naturally Recovering Autism, Karen Thomas.
Well, hi there, and welcome back to Naturally Recovering Autism. I am your host, Karen Thomas, and we are coming to you from the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And this show is for parents of children with autism, but also for caregivers and practitioners and teachers and everybody else who has a child with autism in their life, because there are a lot of valuable resources I offer. And today we are going to talk about the subject of toxic drinking and bathing water. And a lot of people, have actually been trying to study this. They've been searching for on the internet, various things. You read so much, you don't know what to believe. And I will, in full disclosure, because I kind of mentioned something last week, I had Robert Slovak, who is an absolute water expert he's been doing water research and in the water industry as one of the key original developers of reverse osmosis technology since the 70s. But we had a little scheduling snafu, so I was not able to have Robert today live on the show with us. But I do have a presentation he's giving me to put onto my website at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water. You'll find that and some other things that I'm going to be able to give you as some hugely valuable resources in this episode here, and then some other links that I'll be able to offer you as I go through this to be able to share more value with you. I've got an interview that I did with Robert that I'm going to put on that post, and so you'll hear from him directly that way. But there are so much misinformation about water out there, and a lot of people don't know what to believe. And it's really important with a child with autism that you are definitely drinking a pure and healthy water source, because those children or anybody with a compromised immune system cannot handle the additional contaminants and the toxins that are in water. And so it's really important that you know what to do to keep your family safe. And I'm going to mention too in this episode one of the absolute best filters available on the planet now. It's brand new. The research they've just finished it, and I'm going to give you the link to that in the show because it's very, very important. Well, let's talk about some of the, what is going on with water. So there are a lot of contaminants, and how it affects your health and your family's health is important. So you really need to know what to do. Cities are currently adding ammonia to public sources of drinking water to stretch it further, because this way they don't have to use as much chlorine, which is also a toxin, but the chlorine is more expensive. So they're trying to stretch it further. When you add chlorine and ammonia together, which is also, I hate to say this, I'll talk more about it in this show too, but when you are in a chlorinated swimming pool, especially a public one, and children are urinating, urine has ammonia in it. So again, just the same as your public drinking water, swimming pools, you get something with those two chemical compounds, becomes something called a chloramine. Now, chloramines are very, very toxic to inhale, and they tend to hover right above the water. So if you're swimming in a pool that has chloramines in it, you're getting those toxins into your body. There's also a lot of heavy metals, including lead. Of course, we've seen, if you're in the United States, you've likely heard about Flint, Michigan, and the lead, the amounts of lead that are in their water and how toxic it's been to that community. Well, currently in the United States, there are almost 3,810 neighborhoods in the U.S. that have water with levels of lead that are double that of Flint, Michigan. But people don't know that. They don't know how to test. They don't know how to find that out. So I'm going to give you that information. Also, a lot of towns have put, and the Dental Association has put something like fluoride in your water. Now, I know we hear fluoride's great. We're supposed to brush our teeth with it. Our teeth are going to fall out, right? Well, fluoride is a neurotoxin. And I wrote about this in my book, Naturally Recovering Autism, all about it in depth. And you don't even want to use fluoride toothpaste. Now, if you're drinking water with fluoride in it, you are getting that neurotoxin into your body, and it's very, very dangerous, along with lead and other things that are going on. So, also we'll run right into a little bit more about why you want to test here, because the research has detected at least 11 chemical compounds from prescription drugs and antibiotics and hormones, along with all of these other heavy metals, because they're recycling water in a lot of communities and reusing sewage water. Now, with sewage water and people are excreting prescription drugs and other things like that, those compounds are not often getting filtered out in your water, and they are very, very dangerous. We'll also talk a little bit about radiation or radionucleotides in water as well. So with these come also chemicals and other bacteria. Now, another aspect of chlorinated drinking water is that chlorine kills. So your child with a compromised immune system and usually a weak gut is drinking a source that is of water that is actually has contaminants that are more toxic to the system. So they're causing more neurodegenerative problems and more immune problems. But they're also then going into the gut, and they're killing what is left of their good bacteria. Now, our kids are already low in good bacteria, and they have overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria in their gut. If you listen to my first episode of this show here at Bold Brave Media, I talked about in length about the importance of healing the gut for a child with autism, and how the gut controls the brain. 80% of the immune system is made in the gut. So we really, really want to protect the gut, and we don't want to kill any more of the good bacteria that may be remaining in our children. So chlorine is basically bleach. It's killing the good bacteria. It kills the good, but it also, and the bad, both. So it's very important, and you want to know how to test. So a lot of people are curious as to, well, how would I know if my drinking source is bad? And there are a lot of ways that you can check. Now, there is a mandatory a requirement for any town that has over 25 people in it to publish an annual EPA report. So you go to your town's water supplier, whatever your water supplier is that's within your district, and they should have a website. They will have a website. On that is the annual EPA report. And so then what you want to do is look at that report. But again, I know for the layperson that interpreting that report isn't always as easy to do. You really want to find people who understand it. And And also then there are differences too, like if you come from a rural area versus a city area. So we want to be able to look at that too. We need to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back and talk about how you can test and find out about your water source. Stay with us. We will be right back. This is Naturally Recovering Autism and Bold Brave Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Introducing BetterHomeAndGarden.com. That's www.betterhomeandgarden.com with just the letter N in Better Home and Garden. BetterHomeAndGarden.com offers you the highest quality products on the market that are environmentally safe and effective, and to make them available to you at the lowest possible prices. BetterHomeAndGarden.com understands that kind of creativity and do-it-yourself attitude. Thus, we developed our website, BetterHomeAndGarden.com. BetterHomeAndGarden.com offers you the following products right online: bath, bedding, collectibles, craft, sewing and hobby, food and beverage, furniture, home decor, kitchen and dining, lamps and lighting, large appliances, musical instruments, outdoor cooking, patio items, pet supplies, plant and garden, rug and floor coverings, small appliances, travel and luggage, and so much more. Better Home and Garden is an online retailer offering a wide variety of high-quality brand-name merchandise at discount prices. Our service is personal and we aim to please. Visit us at www.betterhomeandgarden.com. Make your home your own.
Do you ever wonder why certain things are happening in your life? How to start a business or a new direction? Need answers? Astrologer Bonnie Probula can help you reveal your true self and gain strength and focus so you can achieve greater joy and success. Working with a natal birth date, time, and location, Bonnie brings out qualities to aid you in getting the best from your life. She can help you unlock dormant traits to bring you greater awareness. Bonnie also conducts public speaking engagements to educate aspiring astrologers on their journey to the stars. A gifted artist, Bonnie bridges her talents and recently launched a line of Astro Bears, uniquely created in colors of individuals' astrology charts. She also makes one-of-a-kind necklaces of crystal beads and woven thread. To learn more about the world of Bonnie Probula, go to bonniegprobula.com. And for astrology consulting, visit astrologyconsultants.com or call or email her at 808-526-1536 or bonniegp@aol.com.
Hi, and welcome back to Naturally Recovering Autism. I'm your host, Karen Thomas, and we're coming to you live from Bold Brave Media and TuneIn Radio. And today's subject is on water. I wanted to say toxic water, but I'm actually going to move that to safe, healthy drinking water and bathing water. And it's very important to know how to test your water as well. If you just joined in, we were discussing about the dangers that actually are in waters, like other contaminants such as heavy metals, aluminum, lead, various fluorides, and how they can affect the DNA functioning and muscle control and memory. And then, those lead pipes, lead creates a lot of anger in the system. And with children with autism, it's very important that you clear out the heavy metals altogether. You don't want your child to be ingesting or bathing in water that is putting heavy metals back into the system. Now, if you joined us again join me for episode 1, Naturally Recovering Autism, I went into a lot of the details behind heavy metal toxicity, and I also gave a great resource, a natural resource, because that's what I'm all about, natural resource to help safely and effectively detoxify those heavy metals from your body. I use a very, very specific zeolite formula. It's a spray. It's a liquid that tastes like water. So it's really easy to use for yourself and your kids. And we need to protect ourselves daily because we are getting enough from our environment. Car exhaust gives out cadmium. There are chemtrails releasing things in our environment, in our air that we're breathing daily. There's so much around us. And back to water, we want to make sure that that our water is safe, because lead can easily cross the blood-brain barrier, especially in children. And, again, it can cause a lot of aggressive behavior, anxiety, poor learning and memory. And you really want to make sure that your water's safe. So let's look at some options for testing. Before we took a break, we talked a little bit about how to test in your community. Now, your test, your community will have, if it's over the population of 25, it will have a website, and you can go on. They're required by law to put out an annual EPA report. Now, how to interpret that report can sometimes be the trick. So I mentioned earlier Robert Slovak, who I have interviewed, and you can he's a water expert, and you can go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water and listen to that podcast interview as well. I'm going to give you all of the links that you're going to need to the things that we're going to discuss in this episode on that page there at Naturally Recovering Autism, because there are a lot of things that I want to make sure that you have those resources. And in fact, I wanted to say earlier that I had put out some questions to my email list in the last week, knowing that I was going to be interviewing Robert and that I was doing something on water. And I wanted to know what people's questions were. And I had a tremendous response. And I thought about all of you listening, all of the people out there that probably would have loved to have given me their questions, but you aren't on my email list and didn't know about that. So I want to offer you the opportunity. Please go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com, and right there on the homepage, you can sign up to be on my newsletter. I just send out a weekly valuable free resource to you. I give promotions, resources again, and also discounts for things. There are certain companies, supplement companies, various ones that will offer me discounts, and I share that with you. And that way we can just stay connected. So and then if there's a show coming up and I know I want to ask some questions, or what are your questions, that's a great place to be able to, I'll send out an email. You can let me know what your questions are, and then I can answer them for you in the shows as well. So again, naturallyrecoveringautism.com, and you can sign up there for my newsletter. So let's get back to water. And again, there's going to be a full presentation that Robert Slovak has given me to put on the page, where I'm going to also show you where that podcast is at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water. So you can find that easily, and all the links we'll talk about, because the testing, okay, so if you go to your local city water and you get an EPA report and you want to interpret that report, because maybe it looks like Greek to you, you don't know how to read it, and you need to know how to read it. And they can be very good about sort of hiding things in a lot of technological jargon too. So Robert Slovak is setting up a service on his site where people can find out what is in their water. Like, he'll be able to help direct you to having help to interpret that information for you. And then also, it differs between where you live, whether you're in rural or in a city. So if you're rural, especially if you're maybe up in the mountains and your sources are coming directly down from, say, a mountain stream, you might have other contaminants in it that you want to use a filter for, but they might not be some of the contaminants that you would have in city water. There is a place called National Testing Lab in Cleveland, Ohio, and the price can range from $25 to $200 depending on your needs and what's going on with the water, but they will do testing for you as well. So that is just another option for testing. We want to know, if your water is not safe, which most of it is not. There are two places that you want to treat it. There's bathing, because you want to help prevent exposure to contaminants that are in the bathing water. And then there's also drinking water. Now, a whole house solution is, much more costly. But they definitely can be done. These huge carbon filters, and they should be huge, that are installed, and they need to be installed correctly. You want to also know, if you're getting an RO filter, how to know if that one's the right one for you. And that is what I'm going to get into as well here, because Robert has just released what he feels is literally the best RO system and just basically water filter system that he has ever seen. And it's called the Aqua True, and it's very inexpensive, and it's a countertop one. So you can put it you can actually fill it, takes 3 liters at a time, fill it with water from any source, so right from your tap. And because a lot of people now have various types of connections on their faucets. So not all, this one is totally different. We're going to need to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this filter. Stay tuned.
Essential Nutrients LLC is the brainchild of entrepreneur Barbara Burns. Inspired by a desire to help others, Barbara worked with a team of scientists to develop unique nutritional liquid supplements with the goal to improve the quality of your life. Glucosamine, zinc, and calcium are essential to well-being, and this is the focus of Essential Nutrients LLC. Whether you're a professional athlete, weekend warrior, student, business owner, or homemaker, Essential Nutrients offers products for everyone, including the family pet. And they're easy to take, no pills. Health requires commitment, exercise, a good diet, proper supplementation, and action. So take action today and get your supply of essential liquid nutrients by visiting www.essential-liquids.com. Don't put off your health any longer. Take essential products today and start to measure the difference.
Unleash the obstacles that bind you with certified professional coach Joanne Charette, a master practitioner in energy leadership. Joanne can help you break through personal and professional barriers and guide you to a higher level of empowerment and fulfillment. Passionate and dedicated, Joanne engages with her clients on a mutual journey. Her dynamic energy will motivate you to move forward as you partner on a venture to greater results. Isn't it time to make a breakthrough and commit to live the life you deserve? Invest in yourself and let Joanne Charette be the catalyst to the realization of your dreams by making them a reality. Based in Quebec, Canada, Joanne is also a space coach, using social media and Skype to work with anyone, anywhere around the world. Contact Joanne Charette today at 819-360-3266 or email her at actionrealization@live.ca. 819-360-3266. Now is your time.
Hi, and welcome back to Naturally Recovering Autism. I'm your host, Karen Thomas, and we are coming to you from the Bold Brave Media and TuneIn Radio, and we are talking about safe, healthy water systems for your home. And actually, something that I'm talking about now is the filter that you can use in your home, and you can also travel with it. It's called the Aqua True filter, and if you're just joining in, we've been discussing about various ways of testing through EPA reports, national testing labs. There's something called watercheck.com as well that you can test for. And then I'm going to link to Robert Slovak's site so you can know how you can find help to interpret that report as well. Because, of course, the source of your water determines the harmful aspects. And everything has its advantages and disadvantages. But not all places are equipped to answer these questions for immune-compromised individuals. So with autism and anybody with any type of a compromised immune system, including the elderly, we really don't want to have any additional contaminants, because it's bad for everyone to take in these toxins that are in water. But for immunocompromised people, especially children with autism, their systems cannot take it. It makes them worse. People are drinking this daily, or they get, some cheap little filter or a filter maybe they read about, and it sounded great on the internet, but a lot of them really are poor filters. So Robert has just released, and he is a water expert from the 70s, one of the original developers of the RO, reverse osmosis systems. And he was telling me that this new filter, it's called the Aqua True, and I will link to it and give you a code, I forgot to mention, for a discount on this product, which they're even discounting further because I'm doing this show for them, letting people know about it until this Friday of this week. There's even an additional discount on their site to it, and the discount code that I'm going to give you is able to be used on top of that. So just want to let you know that, and I will link to everything at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water. at where I'm releasing this podcast episode. And you can also listen to the presentation that Robert shares with us there as well for like much further details, like much, much deeper than we can get into here, because we're limited with time, and there are whole house systems and countertops. And in the whole house systems, you've got to really be sure that you're getting, the right carbon filters, the right size, the right everything. And the same with countertops. Now, there are some good ones out there. Some people had asked about he talked about the Berkey and the Kragen, I think it is. Did I say that right? The filters too, the people were asking about, but and those can be good. But if this particular one has is something that you don't even have to hook up to your water source, because a lot of sinks these days, people are remodeling, getting fancy. You've got a spray nozzle or a big, fancy looking one. A lot of you can't, and maybe don't always want to have something right on your kitchen sink, or something it won't, or it's not the right size to hook up to your nozzle on your faucet, and whether it's in your bathroom or in your kitchen. And so this gets around that. It's a reverse osmosis system that does not require any dumping out. It doesn't have to refill, because when it refills, reverse osmosis systems, the ones that are out there now, and you likely have one, they fill up. When they refill, that water sits there, and they are a breeding ground for bacteria. And you are, doing what you feel and think and believe is best, having this RO system. But that holder, that container of that water, they say to clean it out every month. Well, apparently you should clean it out every couple of days, and then you've got to dump out all this water. And then even when you put it back in, that container that you've got that water in has contaminants in it. So this new one that has just been released, it's called the Aqua, and it is something that you plug into the wall. You can plug it in you can fill it with your water source. It takes about 3 liters at a time. Fill it from your water source, and then plug it in. It plugs in to an outlet somewhere in your home. So you might want to just put it on the top of your washing machine to get it out of the way. So you've got your water source, your fresh water source there. And then also, you can refill it as often as needed. And there's no need to dump any there's no container that's going to breed contaminants. There's some type of I don't know the deep specifics, so I want to say that, but he did mention you don't have to sterilize this container. It does not need it. It will not breed these contaminants. And again, when you listen to that presentation, you'll get more of these deeper details that you may want from that. But being able to plug it in on your countertop anywhere in your home, and having 3 liters build in 15 minutes. So you can have that source available. You can travel with it. If you're staying in a hotel room and that hotel room water's bad, and you don't always want to have to be buying bottled water, because bottled water sources aren't great, and we don't know if those bottled waters bottles have been sitting somewhere in some storage shed or a parking lot or a warehouse, and they have heated up before they ever got to the store where you purchased it from, that maybe it might be in a refrigerator, so you think, oh good, it's cold. Well, those plastic water bottles will leach BPAs, toxic chemicals from the plastic into the water that you're drinking. So, and not to mention the landfills and the pollution to the oceans. I mean, we're all hearing about how much water bottles are affecting the environment. So you can take this water of the Aqua with you and be able to plug it in anywhere, when you travel. So that's really nice as well. And again, you can use any water source and just fill it up. So the other beauty of this too is it does remove all of those pharmaceuticals that we talked about that are still in these, the recycling of sewage water that they're doing in many, many places. I know that they're doing it all over the United States. And I think all over the world, they need more water. They need water sources for our population, our growing population. So they're recycling sewage water. Well, when somebody excretes the toxins from pharmaceutical drugs that they're taking, which so many people are on medications, toxins. Then it goes into the toilet, it goes into the sewage system, they recycle that, and that remains in most water. It is not filtered out by many, many filter systems, and those are endocrine disruptors, metabolic disruptors, neurotoxins, along again with the heavy metals that we talked about earlier. So very important. Another one is glyphosate, that it does filter out glyphosate. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that when we come back, because that's a biggie too. Stay with us. We're going to take a short break. This is Naturally Recovering Autism with Bold Braid Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Steve Fagan, and I'm president and CEO of Fagan Associates, but I'm also a life coach. I'm here to help you reach your dreams, goals, and objectives. As a life coach, it's my job to be your support, to be your teammate, to help you understand what is your dream, what is your life passion, and then together we work as that team to help you reach your specific goals. Life is worth living the best you can be. Working with a life coach, you're fulfilling those dreams and goals is your passion, and it's your way of living. Let me help you do that today. Let me help you really reach the best that you can be as a person and live the life you should be living. I'm Steve Fagan. I'm a life coach, and I'm here for you.
Contact Steve Fagan at FaganandAssociatesInc.com or call 1-800-239-2701.
And I'll be glad to help you move forward to live the life of success. Reach your dreams, your goals, your objectives. We can do it together.
There are artists, and then there's Alice Asmar. This award-winning artist has spent her entire life devoted to her artistic pursuits and has had a lifelong fascination with American Indians of the southwestern United States. Her book, Dance to the Great Spirit, showcases her drawings and paintings inspired by sacred rituals of the Pueblo Indians, and 4 of her lithographs are in permanent collection at the National Museum of American History and the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. She is one of 4 artists in the United States to win a Woolley Fellowship for study in Paris at l'École des Beaux-Arts and has been featured in numerous publications. She's exhibited at the world's most prestigious museums and galleries and recently won a 20-year service award from the Burbank City Council and the inaugural art competition of the Foundation of the United States in Paris.
Visit www.asmarart.com, www.aliceasmarinternational.com, and email Alice at aliceasmar@aol.com.
Well, hi, and welcome back to Naturally Recovering Autism. I'm your host, Karen Thomas, and we are coming to you from the Bold Brave Media and TuneIn Radio. And I'm so glad that you're here with us today because we're on the subject of water, toxic water, and also safe, healthy drinking water, and how you can find out if your water in your home is contaminated, and also when you travel, what you can do. I mentioned that there are a lot of the contaminants in water and how dangerous they are, especially to our kids with autism, because they have these compromised immune systems. So it's very, very important that we protect our kids, right? The environment has enough toxins. Their body is lacking in detoxification already. And I mentioned in my first episode at Naturally Recovering Autism here, all about healing the gut and natural, safe, heavy metal detoxification. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to those, please go back and do so, or that episode, because it really does give you a lot more information about the importance of healing the gut. I should mention to you as well, I have a free workshop that I would love to invite you to that goes into the 3 stages to naturally recovering autism. And if you go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com/free workshop, then it's a free 4-part video series, and it'll I go into depth again about all of the aspects about healing the gut and why it's so important, what you need to know, and then safe heavy metal detoxification naturally, and then also into brain support and repair. So those are some important things I want to give you. I like to just keep giving resources. Again, you can sign up on my homepage of my website at naturallyrecoveringautism.com and get on my email list for updates and discounts and things that I offer as well. And I like to ask questions once in a while, like I did for this episode to you. I want to know what your questions are, what your needs are, and then be able to answer them here on the show. It's a great way to do it. And it helps a lot of people because, you have the questions that you have. Millions of other people have that question, and there's no such thing as a silly question. People need to know certain things that are valuable for their child's health, and it's all a learning experience, right? I started out 12 years ago when my son was diagnosed with autism. I saw quickly that it was up to me to figure it out, and my research brought me to helping my son to full recovery. So that's why I share these resources with you, because I want to help you get your child as better as they can be. What is their optimum level of recovery? Because you need the education and the information, and you want to know, what to do and how to do it. So that's what I come to you for, to help support you as well. And we talked a little bit before the break about glyphosate. I was getting into some of the contaminants in water and how you can travel. I mentioned the Aqua filter that's just been released, the most recent, highest tech, and very reasonably priced new reverse osmosis system. It's a countertop thing, but you don't have to even plug it into your sink directly. Very, very easy to install. Not a big deal. Basically, a 10-year-old could do it. And I'm going to offer you not only the link to the product, but a discount code to it. So you can get that at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water. And I'm going to link to a lot of the things that we discuss in this episode there. Glyphosate is something that is used. It's in the weed killer called Roundup. And a lot of people are spraying it in their yards. And also what has happened is that large companies have started spraying it for, quite some time now. They've been spraying it on things like our wheat crops and our food crops because they want to. It kills the wheat at the very end when it's green, but they want it to be really dry and done so they can grind it up and get it out faster. Well, the Roundup dries it up more so they can get it out to market faster. It basically helps them make more money faster. And what then you're doing is you're eating glyphosate. And glyphosate, that spray on our crops, gets into our rivers, our lakes, our oceans, and it's in our drinking water. And glyphosate is extremely toxic. And I will link to on the show notes page here that I just mentioned. I will link to a podcast interview I did with Dr. Stephanie Seneff from MIT Institute, who is a specialist in glyphosate. And so you can learn more about the dangers of it and know to avoid it. It is now known to help to contribute to the symptoms of autism. Very, very toxic. And it's water soluble. So it's still in a lot in drinking water with most filters. It's not getting it out. Well, this filter gets the Aqua that I mentioned, gets the glyphosate out of the water, which is amazing because a lot of them they just can't do that. The other thing that it does remove, somebody asked this question as well, so I asked Robert and we went into it. Radionucleotides, so radiation, I always call it radiation, alpha, beta, gamma rays, from basically fallouts and various things. Well, he said basically they're like minerals in the water, and Aqua will remove them. So again, with the pharmaceuticals, beauty supplies, soaps, shampoos, glyphosate, heavy metals, all of these things, the Aqua does remove all of these. And it's very, very safe and easy to use. So then people ask, well, okay, so if all of these things are being removed from my water, the question comes up with, do I need to add minerals? Now, I know a lot of people have this question. It came up over and over and over. And so basically, you want to know that pH and alkalinity, adding alkaline water, alkalinity to your water is basically, it's just redundant. It's basically a myth that it helps because the pH in water is basically irrelevant because the stomach's pH is between 1 and 3. So it acidifies everything that you ingest. So if you add alkaline, then the water, your stomach will acidify it for you. So it doesn't work, just to let you know, you're pretty much wasting your money if you're doing that. And then, there are some bicarbonate systems in the bloodstream that filter it out, but you need to use alkalizing minerals. So minerals are the key to getting the natural minerals are the way to get your sources back. And there are a couple different ones that are some of the best on the planet again. And one, of course, is fresh vegetables. Fresh vegetables are abundant in alkalizing, and also, a little baking soda some people might use, but fresh vegetables. Now, our kids and not everybody might not be eating enough fresh vegetables every day. And the other thing is that our soils have been demineralized so abundantly that our foods just don't have the mineral sources they need. And I'm going to link to a YouTube video that Professor August Dunning from Caltech did on our demineralizing of our soil. We need to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back with the best source for remineralizing your body. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My Dreams, My Challenges, and Joys is an inspiring book by author Linda Genazzo. This real-life account of raising a child with autism from birth to adulthood takes you on a journey of compassion, love, and hope as it tells the incredible story of a devoted family and their beloved daughter. Together, they faced adversity and never stopped believing they would find the help they were seeking. A breast cancer survivor, Linda Genazzo has a giving heart. With a background in social work with the mentally ill and the homeless, Linda continues to help families in her community, and her book, My Dreams, My Challenges and Joys, brings greater awareness to autism and those families in need. To purchase your copy, visit www.lindagenazzo.com. It's also available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Don't delay. Get your copy today.
Are you stressed? Is your stress driving you crazy? Do you know there are many ways to relieve the stress? The Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic does just that. Reduce your stress plus so much more. Established in 1997, the Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic offers an approach to wellness for those individuals who choose to either utilize appropriate complementary methods to enhance their current medical care, or to those individuals who are on their personal journey toward improved health and wellness through the use of therapeutic bodywork, Reiki energy healing, or hypnosis. The Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic is owned by Dr. Judy Dean, a registered nurse and board-certified massage therapist and medical hypnotherapist in LaPorte, Indiana. Visit www.spiritwithinmassage-hypnosis.com to see all services offered by Dr. Judy. For a free personal consultation, please call Dr. Judy Dean at 219-326-1380. The Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic, 219-326-1380.
Hi, and welcome back to Naturally Recovering Autism. I'm your host, Karen Thomas, and we're coming to you from the Bold Brave Media and TuneIn Radio. And today we're talking about safe, healthy drinking water and how you can protect your family from harmful toxins and chemicals in water sources. And before we went to a break, we talked a little bit about why alkalizing water is really a myth. And that's, again, because the stomach's pH is so strong that it acidifies everything that you put into it. So what you want to do is put into it the actual minerals that will be absorbed into the system. You might notice, and I had this question come in as well, asked about someone with autism says they're always thirsty. They drink water all the time. And a lot of people find this. How come I'm drinking so much water and I can't seem to ever get enough? I'm always thirsty. And it's because your cells are not able to get the water, the minerals inside of them. And that's because the water into it, because there aren't enough minerals. The minerals are the driver. They cause the cells to take in water. And most people with autism, children and adults, anybody with a compromised immune system, most people are deficient in minerals, and most of the general public is today. Again, I was mentioning Professor August Dunning's, he's from Caltech University. He did a YouTube video that I will link to at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water. And he talks about the demineralizing of our soil. So we have to know, okay, we're not getting enough minerals. Without the proper minerals, our body's enzymatic reactions can't take place. Of course, there's a lot of you see your kids have a lot of problems with their teeth because they're just not getting enough minerals in their system, and they're often releasing releasing the minerals as well. Their body might be excreting anything extra in there. So Seawater minerals are the best, and there's something called quinton. It's Quinton, and I will link to this on this page as well. And it has all of the trace elements that are needed and that are missing from our produce as well today. So very, very important, again, as these minerals are the driver for getting water into our cells and being able to really hydrate the cell. Quinton minerals have 74 different elements in them. And then there's actually one that's the kind of a higher level one for people who are like heavy athletes like if you're a triathlon or if you do triathlons and things like that. It's called Totem. But basically with the AquaTrue, it's 3 liters. So the dosage for putting into an AquaTrue, you can go ahead. Now you cannot add things to other reverse osmosis. And you wouldn't want to add a lot of general other things, but this quinton minerals can be added to your 3-liter container of the AquaTrue that the AquaTrue filter gives you, and so one 10 milliliter vial that come in a small vial would be good for a 3-liter batch. Now, if you're really compromised and you need more minerals, there are different ways to get them. You want to make sure that you're putting enough in. I'm looking here for the isotonic. There's isotonic and hypertonic, and the isotonic is basically like a medicine. It's for something that maybe you should use under a doctor's advice, which can also sometimes be needed by children with autism at that level. So you can utilize it that way, and I will link to both of them, the quinton isotonic and the hypertonic. Now, the hypertonic minerals by quinton. And again, these are natural seawater minerals. I believe they're pulled from somewhere very deep off the coast of Spain. The hypertonic is the one that you would use daily, and that you could use multiple vials during a day and you could add them to hydrate anytime you wanted, or you could put a vial into a 3-liter container of your AquaTrue water. But it's a great, great way to get those minerals back into the system, and the body will absorb these trace minerals because they are in that elemental form, where some are not able to be absorbed as well too. The type of minerals that you ingest are very, very important because not all are the same. Also, somebody asked about molecular hydrogen. So molecular hydrogen is another fabulous, fabulous thing to add. Now, you can put this into it goes into a single drink of a beverage of any type, but you put it into it, you let it it bubbles up, it ionizes. And then as you notice, once it's a little tiny pill and you drop it into a liquid, and then you just drink it. But molecular hydrogen is becoming one of those more and more well-known aspects that can really, really be helpful to people with health issues, compromised immune systems, and that our bodies are in need of. And I will link to that as well, so you know more about the molecular hydrogen and the little tablets that you can get to add. But they're really helpful if you need energy, if you have various types of health conditions. Again, liquid hydrogen is very, very important. So I wanted to make sure that we covered everybody. Again, I had asked for some questions, and I appreciate everybody who did ask write in. And if you would like to be on my email list, because often I'll put something out to the people on my email list, and I will give out various promotions and discounts and a weekly natural resource for you to help you with your kids and their recovery, and something of value. I don't just, give you a bunch of information. I give value. So if you'd like to be on that list, go to naturallyrecoveringautism.com right there on the homepage, and you can sign up to be on my email list. And then when I ask these questions for the show, you can ask them there. There is a place at Bold Brave Media on my Naturally Recovering Autism page as well, where there's a space for comments, and feel free to comment there. and ask questions as well. But when I want to ask you questions, it's really good if I've got some way to connect with you, because there were some really fabulous questions that came in, and I appreciate everybody who did send them in to me, and wanted to make sure that I covered all of them. I'm going to be linking to everything that we discussed. Again, there was one other aspect that, again, with swimming pools, I mentioned a little bit earlier. I just want to make sure if your child is swimming in a public pool where other kids are urinating, it's very toxic. So I can mention a little bit more about that. We've got to take a quick break and back.
Global Glory. That's the work of Dr. Marina MacLean, COO of Global Glory, whose calling is to serve God. A first-generation British-born Londoner of Jamaican descent, Dr. MacLean inherited the hunger for the Word from her father, who was a Bible teacher. Growing up, her home was filled with missionaries from the Caribbean islands and America, and she travels the world preaching the gospel. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree in theology and an honorary doctorate of divinity and Christian counseling from Friends International Christian University. Dr. MacLean is also a songwriter and recording artist, and her songs are written during summits and conferences in the presence of God. She's recorded 3 worship albums to date and is in ministry for 28 years alongside her husband, Dr. Rennie MacLean, who shares her passion. Visit www.globalglory.org or on Facebook at Global Glory. Call 866-244-5679 and feel the glory.
Certified professional coach Pamela Reeves can help you with your relationships. Motivational and image coaching are just some of the ways she can help you enhance all aspects of your life. Her book, Is It Love or Merely a Sick Attachment?, helps readers clearly distinguish healthy, loving relationships from toxic ones. Ms. Reeves has put her words into action through Ray of Hope Kenya, an international initiative that provides outreach to victims of abusive relationships there with the goal of helping them rebuild their lives and the tools to avoid abuse. Ms. Reeves operates various business interests through her umbrella network, Nella LLC, and credits her success to her diverse work experience. Whatever your goals, whether striking a balance, reinventing your image, or simply lifting your lifestyle, Pamela Reeves will help you achieve them. Your life, your call. Dial 410-902-5715 or email Pamela at pamregon@verizon.net. She's also on the web at pamreeves.com and on Twitter at Pamela_Reeves.
Well, hi there and welcome back. We are coming to you from Bold Brave Media and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Karen Thomas, and this is Naturally Recovering Autism. And we've been talking about safe, healthy drinking water for your families to use and how you can find out your water source, if your water source in your home is contaminated or what it's contaminated with, but more importantly, how you can get your children and your family safe drinking water. And right before the break, I talked just briefly about swimming pools because since we're right here in the middle of the summer, at least in the U.S., in this part of the world. Some of you are going into winter. But swimming pools, chlorinated swimming pools, they can be converted to a saline solution, which helps because there's a little less chlorine. But of course, there's still chlorine. But it is safer. It is a better way to go. There's not as much chlorine. The big danger that you want to watch for is especially public swimming pools. Now, you've got a fully chlorinated pool and you've got children urinating in it. And so what happens is the combination of chlorine and ammonia from the urine creates something called a compound called chloramines. And chloramines are very, very toxic and very dangerous. And so you want to make sure, they can cause serious respiratory issues. They are problems. They can cause skin aggravants, respiratory issues, they're carcinogenic. It's very, very dangerous. And it really, that tends to hover right over the surface of the water. So a home swimming pool is better. And also, if you've got chlorine, you don't know what to do, get your child a kiddie pool and put a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in it to prevent the mold and growth exposure and just have that be their special private little pool or their special place. Make it fun for them so they don't feel like they're being separated out or, everybody can have a little pool. I don't know how big your backyard is, but that's an option too. For on-the-go traveling, I also wanted to mention there's something called SteriPen, and it's on Amazon. I'll link to them. to it. It's a UV lamp inside of a little pen, and you can put it into up to a 1 liter bottle when you're traveling to sterilize the water. So those are kind of nice for on the go. And I've given you a lot of different pieces of information here. So I mentioned I'm going to link to everything that I discussed that you would need a link to. Robert Slovak, who is a water expert, has given a presentation that he has given to me, and it'll be a download on the page at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water, which also will have a podcast interview that I did with him. It's an audio recording you can listen to, where we get into the details of some of these things that I discussed here as well. His Aqua drinking water RO system, which is this small, simple countertop RO system, is also going to have, I'll have the link to that product, and I'm offering you a discount code as well, and it can be used ongoing. And this is Tuesday, so up until this Friday, they're giving, for me, because I was doing this show, they're giving an additional discount on their product up until this Friday. And you can use the discount code that I'm going to be giving you in that link along with their already discounted product. So I just want to make sure that you knew that. But the discount code that I will be giving you will be good ongoing as well. So, if you want to get one of those, the Aqua True filter, you can get it at a reduced price right now. And then you're free to share that link that I'm giving you with other friends, family members, anybody you know. Put it on Facebook if you like. It's fine. I want people to know about this source. Robert is one of the most trusted people in the water industry. He's been around the longest. He has multiple engineering backgrounds. He knows his stuff. And this filter actually came forward at one point, and he rejected it, sent it back. They did the little tweaks that he said. He brought it back, and he said he's never seen anything like it. I'm not here just to sell you this filter. I'm telling you that you've been searching for a good filter. I know you have, because a lot of us have. And there's always a little bit of something that is missing from most of our filters. They're not doing the job. We need to take the contaminants out. So again, I'll be linking to all of these things for you at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/water. Thanks for being here with us. Have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And take care. This is Karen Thomas at Naturally Recovering Autism and Bold Brave Media.
You've been listening to Naturally Recovering Autism with your host, Karen Thomas. Listen each week and learn how you can provide your child a clear path for a happier and more fulfilling life on Karen Thomas's Naturally Recovering Autism.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.